Welcome to admin. Sorry for the delay. It's a function of incessant back-to-back meetings, but thank you for joining us on this October 7th. Can you believe it? So, Violet, do you want to do roll call for us, please?
Sure, you bet. We have myself, Violet Plummer, Andrew Chorney, Anna Conley, Ann Hughes, Annie Caffey, Chris Lounsbury, Commissioners Vero, Strohmeyer, and Slotnick, Aaron Couts, Karen Harrison, Kyla Leonard, Melissa Gordon, Nancy Rattel, and Sarah Bell. Did I miss anybody? Okay.
Okay. Thanks for that, Violet. And holy smokes, we got a 4-page agenda today.
I know.
It's a busy day. So is there any public comment on items not on today's agenda? All right. We'll get rolling. Karen Harrison, what do you have for us?
She first, or is it me?
This is just a proposal to formalize from our meeting prior HR BCC meeting to increase certification pay for non-union employees from 50 cents per hour to 75 cents per hour, effective October 3rd, which would have a fiscal impact of $14,000 for the rest of this fiscal year. And I'm sharing the document just so you can see what the fiscal impact is to each department as requested by the CFO. And this increase in certification pay puts us in a much more equitable line with all of our other pay plans that are with unions throughout the organization.
Thanks, Karen. Questions from the commission?
I mean, we've spoken about this before, and I'm glad we can bring the non-union folks more in line with the union folks.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for your work on this. Oh, no problem. It affects 28 people.
I move that the board approve increases in certification pay.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion or public comment on this item? Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we transition from Karen talking to us talking about Karen. Chris Lounsbury.
Always super comfortable conversations when we do this. No, so Commissioners, good afternoon or good morning. This is a request to renew the employment agreement with Karen Harrison, who serves as our HR director for the next 2 years, with a rate of pay kind of commensurate with her experience. This is our standard employment agreement. So no real modifications to any of the normal conditions of employment that we have or that she's been working under the last 3 years under her previous agreement.
Great. Questions?
Yeah, my only question is, usually these come to us as hourly wages as opposed to.
So yes,
Sure.
so I apologize.
Yeah.
That's me.
We're very excited
I will
to have
apply for
Karen.
that.
Yeah, I put it in as a yearly rate. Sorry.
No worries, that's all good.
Okay.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, I would move we approve and sign the employment agreement with Karen.
I want Karen to stick around. Yes, please.
Okay. Any further discussion or public comment on this item? See none. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Karen, for your service. Okay, this next one I am super excited about, and we have our very own Aaron Couts to introduce this one for us.
Good morning, everyone. So I'm Erin Couts. I'm with Community and Planning Services, and I am here to request the board sign a professional services agreement with KLJ Engineering, LLC, to prepare and submit an EDA Build Back Better grant application for Big Sky Passenger Rail Authority in the amount of $5,000. And I'm happy to answer any questions. I know we talked about this earlier in the week, but if you have any specific questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
For the greater world out there, how much is this grant worth that we're applying for? How much money do we have?
It's a $500,000 grant, and it's basically a planning grant. It would hire a contractor to do a phase 1 plan, basically a plan, but it would approach different things: a socioeconomic study, a feasibility study on a certain line, help make some connections, both with different communities and partners along the line. It's a very short period. I think it's like a 4-month period, but then we would start planning for a phase 2 application that would be applied for in March. That would be a considerably larger amount. And Dave, I don't know if you remember how much it is. I can't remember off the top of my head, but the phase 2 is like
second phase, so.
a
Wow.
lot of money. So
We got 4 months to spend $500,000, so it's super compressed.
That is pretty intense.
We just, yeah. So
Tell us about KLJ.
Yeah.
KLJ Engineering, and they are, even though we are contracting with them, they are partnering with Quandel Consultants, a rail consulting firm specialized in rail. And this team has a great deal of experience in passenger rail. They've been working with us and dialed into our efforts since the very beginning. So they're a known quantity. We got a great price on their work here.
I love the 1 to 100 return on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we just literally, that's the reason I was late. Aaron and I were on a call with the consultants to figure out the grant application, which is due on October 19th. So that's a compressed time frame also.
Wow.
When would you find out? If
In November, I believe.
yeah, since this is all ARPA related funding, they're trying to get it out the door. So everything is on a compressed timeline. They're hoping to let people know by the end of November. We're hoping to get going December 8th if we find out. It is going to be a very competitive grant, but we're still hoping that we're just as competitive as anyone else. So, shoot, there was something else. Oh, I'm just going to note for the greater good that we did select KLJ based on a limited solicitation procurement process. So, yeah.
When we just want to question them, and this is super great. I remember when we were applying for the build grant, we engaged our congressional delegation. Is something like that? Would something like that be valuable with this, given that this is a federal ARPA thing and we have these federal folks who work on our behalf? I don't know anything about the Build Back Better.
The short answer is yes, although that federal engagement will look different for this application that we're currently preparing versus maybe the phase 2 application. Right now, we are just reaching out to our delegation to seek letters of support.
Okay. Perhaps
during this phase 2 period, we would do something more like the full court press we did with Bill.
Got it, great.
I know that Big Sky Passenger Rail is interested in applying for like a Chrissy grant or something, some other big federal grant down the road. And I could see something like that too being something that warrants a more concerted federal push.
And so how will this fit into that federal money that was set aside for rail?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So this is called the belt and suspenders approach. So it's all about setting ourselves up for success. So conceivably what we would be wanting to do in phase 2 of this grant cycle might be covered by some of what is currently wrapped around the axle of Congress right now. And if that gets approved, then it may render moot some of what we want to go after in phase 2. So it's a little out of sync here, but
sometimes that's how opportunities come.
So we're going for it nonetheless. And there's some overlap between this and the RAISE grant that we applied for earlier this summer that we have yet to hear the results of.
Well, I can only imagine we get this. It makes us far more competitive in any of the future ones. That someone, the federal government would have demonstrated confidence in this effort. The $2.5 million really makes us look like we're headed down the right track.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, go, Aaron, go.
Okay.
I move that we sign the professional services agreement with KLJ Engineering.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion or public comment or questions from the media? If there's any media out there.
Thanks so much, Aaron.
Okay, see you
and
then.
Dave.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So,
Thanks,
Dave,
everyone. Have a nice day.
Thanks, Aaron.
Just looking at
Yes.
this, I was wondering if we could do all the substance abuse ones at once.
I think that's an excellent idea. So Melissa, you have over a page, about a page worth of stuff here. Why don't you just run through it all and we'll vote on it as a package.
Sure. So I have the next 6 items. They are the FY22 contracts for the substance abuse prevention mill levy. And the mill levy was approved by voters in 2008, and there is $368,920 available each year through a competitive application process. The applications are reviewed by a citizen review committee. Recommendations for funding are provided to the commission, and those recommendations for funding were adopted as part of the FY22 budget. So I will just go through each one of them and just stop me if you have any questions. So the first is a contract with All Nations Health Center to provide funding for supporting American Indian, Alaska Native, youth-guided, family-involved, culturally appropriate substance abuse prevention programming in the amount of $36,903. The second is with Boys and Girls Club of Missoula County to provide support for the Smart Moves program in the amount of $9,248. The third is with Empower Montana to provide support for the Empowering People Inspiring Change, or EPIC, after school programs in the amount of $7,247. The fourth contract is with Mountain Home Montana to provide support for their substance-free living programs in the amount of $12,520. The fifth is with Western Montana Mental Health Center for their flagship program in the amount of $62,980. And the final substance abuse prevention levy contract for FY22 is also with Western Montana Mental Health Center to provide support for the Project Success program. And that contract amount is $117,954.
Thanks.
Great,
Any
thank you.
questions?
We've gone over these.
Okay, we have seen these before.
And I appreciate especially the ones that have multi-generational components to them. I think it's critical, so.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we're looking at items 4 through 9.
Yeah, I would move we approve items 4 through 9.
Second.
Any further discussion or public comment on these items? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank Melissa.
Thank you,
Thank
Melissa,
you.
for your work to bring us to this point.
Yep, thank you. And Nancy, why don't we do something similar with your full array of items here?
That calf
Bring
item.
us home.
All right. Good morning, Commissioners. My pleasure. So yes, I have the next 7 items, and that is items 10 through 16. And I'll just briefly, or try to be brief, go through each one of them. So the background on this is the Community Assistance Fund, which is a fund supported by Missoula County to provide basic human needs, food, shelter, medical services, and emergency transportation for vulnerable populations and those that need help. And similar with the substance abuse prevention program that Melissa had described, the Community Assistance Fund also has a competitive application process that occurs in the spring. There is a citizens review committee, and Commissioner Slotnick is also the representative from the board on that, and I certainly valued his participation. So for this year in FY22, there was approximately $806,000 set aside to assist these agencies that were successful in their applications. Total, there'll be 19 contracts coming forward. Today, I'll be bringing 7, and then the remaining in the next few weeks. So I think that covers it, the financial, the purpose, and so on. All righty, let's get into this. Agenda number 10 item is for a contract with Missoula Aging Services to provide nutrition services through their underage Meals on Wheels program for persons under the age of 60. I really love this program because it demonstrates the contributions throughout Missoula County, because they provide the services to Bonner and Lolo, Seeley Lake, and Condon. So the contract is not to exceed $34,000. That's item number 10. Item number 11, contract number 11 is with YWCA Missoula, and it is to support their Pathways program, not to exceed $36,000. This is their domestic violence program where they help survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault. Item number 12 is a contract again with YWCA Missoula, and this is for their new family housing center. This is the emergency temporary housing for families. So this is a beautiful building that was just built and is already, I mean, immediately at full capacity. So what this is supporting their operations and staff for the housing center, not to exceed $55,250. Agenda item number 13 has to do with a contract with the Human Resource Council to do case management and provide direct rental assistance for the interim assistance program clients. These are clients who have applied for Social Security assistance or income, SSI income, and as they're waiting for a determination to be made from the Social Security Administration, we provide rental assistance. HRC is well versed. They've been doing this for, I think, a couple decades, so very fortunate to be working with them. Another aspect of the interim assistance program is so we're helping these clients with rental assistance in the interim, thus the word interim assistance. But then when Social Security makes a determination to support a client, then we, Missoula County, that's me, compiles all the records and we can submit for reimbursement of those rental assistance that has been provided over the course of the waiting period. So that contract is with HRC for the interim assistance program, not to exceed $201,000. Item number 14 has to do with a contract with Mountain Home Montana, and I'm sure you're familiar with this, also supported a bit through the substance abuse prevention program. And this is a shelter and providing homes for young mothers. And that is an amount not to exceed $20,250. Item 15 is with the food bank. This is, what we've talked about, and Juanita, you'd mentioned the multi-generational. Again, I always say I love this CAF because we assist babies all the way up to the elderly in different capacities. So for the food bank program, this is what's called the Kids Empower Pack, and this is where they send food they tuck it away in the kids' backpacks, and so that they have food over the weekend. So this is Kids Empower Pack for $60,563. Item number 16, which is the last one today for the Community Assistance Fund. And this is a new program. This is with the Seeley Lake Community Foundation, and it is support their medical appointment shuttle. And this is to help folks drive specifically to medical appointments either in Seeley Lake or in Missoula. And that is for a contract not to exceed $5,700. All right, open to questions.
Any questions on items 10 through 16 of the CAF?
No, I move to approve items 10 through 16. Thank you so much, Nancy.
Yeah, thanks for all your work, Nancy. This is quite a process.
You know it. But it's very fulfilling.
Further discussion or public comment on these Community Assistance Fund items?
I'm so glad we can do this.
Yeah, it really feels good that we can do this.
Yeah, this is worthy of some news coverage if there were anyone from the news coverage agencies out there. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Nancy, the final chunk is from financial admin.
All right, so I'm going to switch gears. Here I am on my bus. I'm switching gears. So the next 4 items does have to do with funding contracts through the financial admin fund. And so I'll just jump into that. Item number 17 is to provide, to sign a contract with the Child Development Center to help with them with their autism evaluation clinic. And that contract is not to exceed $7,000. Item number 18 is with Missoula Art Museum. And that is just to help with operations. It's phenomenal, as we know, Missoula Art Museum, and that is not to exceed $200,000. The item number 19 is with MUTD, the Missoula Urban Transportation District. We help with the supporting the paratransit and shuttle van operations for $20,000. And the very last item, number 20, is again with MUTD. And this is the county support towards the zero fare program they have, not to exceed $20,000.
Thanks. Nancy, any questions on items 17 through 20?
No, tell me about the how the art museum is set up, like, it's such a dramatic potential, like, not to exceed $200,000, but so what's our responsibility there? Or why is that such a large amount?
We've been
But I
paying
love
that-
the art museum.
We've
I
been
don't-
paying
yeah.
that amount
This
for
is
years and
historic,
years.
yeah.
So the super short history here for you. Originally, the art museum was part of the county. When the art museum became a nonprofit 501c3, the city donated the building and agreed to maintain it, and the county agreed to make a contribution in lieu of having to maintain the building and help with the insurance to help support the staff that would be at the art museum to allow them to continue programs. And so this is the county's contribution that matches the city's contribution of the building and services that they provide.
Perfect.
And a
Thank you.
portion of their collection is owned by Missoula County.
That is also true.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Wow.
And this number has been the same forever?
It is, yes,
Maybe-
it's flat, similar to the city's
They would
contribution.
love
which is
for
the
it to
building.
go up,
Yeah,
and we probably
we
ought to
need
think about
really,
that.
we should think
It's
about
like
that for
same
next
as
year.
Child Development Center with the best autism program in the region. But this is great. Thank you.
All right, I'd move we approve items 17 through 20.
A second, enthusiastic second.
Further discussion or comment from anyone on the line? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Man, we're gonna maybe get out of here.
Yeah,
Holy
with
smokes,
4 pages
25
in.
minutes
We're gonna
in
go
and
get a
we made it
breakfast
through 4
Yeah.
pages. Is there any correspondence, discussion items, upcoming events, signing, other comments or instructions? Seeing none, have a great day, everyone.
Wow.
Well done.
Well done. Yeah.
You rocked it.